subscribe. Tariq Radio. Like and subscribe.
All right, let's get a couple of more folks in here, because I ain't gonna be on here too long, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get Reese Dollars in here. Reese Dollars in here. All right. Reese Dollars, what's happening, Reese?
Shit.
What's up, player? Reese, unmute your microphone, bro. All right, we'll get Sir Funk in the building since Reese ain't bringing it. All right, let's get Sir Funk in the building. What's up, Sir Funk?
Hey, I just wanted to touch on one quick topic here.
Yeah.
And it relates to what you're saying about us taking power and not waiting for someone to see the error of their ways.
Right.
What you have is Senator Cory Booker and Ayanna Pressley got together and said that they were going to introduce a bill to study reparations.
Lord.
Okay. So you see where this is going already. It's like
Nope.
they're trying to get us back on the plantation, and they're doing it when the Republicans are taking power, and they're trying to see if they can retake control of the debate and also slow it down and basically dilute it and eliminate it altogether.
Yeah.
So this is the time right here and now for us in the Black grassroots to step it up and basically show who we are and what we're about, and about basically deleting them as factors at all. That's all I got.
Yeah, man. Look, the Democrats, they're calming down all of that old talking at us bullshit. They're gonna cut that out. We let them know that ain't flying no more. All of that talking to us and rolling the curve out, that shit ain't gonna fly no more. So now they're trying to talk like they got some sense, but they're still on the bullshit because they're still talking that study. And so now I'm telling you, what the Democrats are going to do, they're going to try to blacken it up. They're going to really try to talk our language. They're going to try to act like they're more grassroots. So we got our eye on them. We got our eye on them. Mike, what's up, Mike?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me, Tariq?
I can hear you. What's up, brother?
Okay, yeah, two things. Because that preacher's name is Eddie James. I believe he's from St. Louis. Yeah, St. Louis.
Yes, he's
yeah. Man, that nigga hilarious as hell. And then the second thing, because I just came in, I said, "Are you afraid of power?" But I think a lot of our people are afraid some might be afraid because they may be the next one to be, assassinated, like Dr. King, Malcolm X, and how all of our Black leaders were targeted. Have you ever considered that?
Yeah. And I talked about that earlier in the broadcast. Yeah, a lot of Black people are afraid, okay, if we step out there and start making power moves, damn it, they're going to get us like they got Dr. King, like they got Malcolm, like they got Medgar Evers, like they got everybody else. And my answer to that, they're doing it now, even if you're not empowered. That's my whole narrative. So even if you sit up here being a Sambo, you getting got. If you being a bed buck, you getting got. If you being a bed wench, you're being got. Yeah. So yeah, they're getting you if you're relinquishing your power. Down in Texas, this was one of the most tragic stories ever. This was a few years ago, if y'all don't remember. This one dude, he was one of them black on black crime. What about black on black crime? All police ain't bad. He was one of them dudes. Where the white women at? Ooh, man, ain't all cops is good. Ain't no bad cops. Or you just got to know how to talk to him. And he was one of them. He just went on and on about how you got to know how to talk to cops, and you can't be talking to cops crazy. And ain't no police ever harmed me. Y'all niggas just don't know how to act. Y'all, he was on that. And there was an altercation somewhere at a bar somewhere out in Texas. The police showed up. A white cop showed up. This black man who's talking all that crap, the cop came. He reached out his hand to shake the cop's hand. The cop blew his brains out. The cop shot him and killed him. And I don't think the cop, I don't know what happened to the cop. I don't think that happened to him. But the cop shot this brother. After all that samboing and buck dancing he was doing, talking about he never been harmed by a cop. It only takes one time, and that was extremely tragic to play that game. He's going to completely submit his power. He basically laid his power on the floor and they still got him. This dude got killed being submissive to the damn police, trying to shake the cop's hand in order to get brownie points. And this cop was like, oops, this dude is trying to assault me, and then shot him. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You might as well stand up for power. You're not going to get power on your knees, man. That's not how you get power, bowing down and being subversive. No. That only emboldens the oppressor class. And let me tell you, our ancestors did not go through all of what they went through for you to be bowing down to these damn white supremacists. That's disrespectful to your ancestors. I'm real big on ancestral respect. Our people did too much. They endured too much. When you study what they've done and how they had to survive dealing with these white supremacists, you have an appreciation for them. And that makes you want to stand on lineage business even harder, man. The fact that our people sat around here covertly creating a language so that they can teach each other to read, because you would get killed if you learned how to read. So they created touch language. So they're, to the white supremacists, talking in gibberish. The white supremacists don't know that they're teaching each other how to read when they're talking this gibberish. Our people had to sit up here and set up sanctuary cities and swamps that acted as a hub for the Underground Railroad. Our people had to come up with guerrilla warfare fighting tactics to fight the U.S. damn government, ladies and gentlemen, down in Florida as they freed themselves. Our folks were resilient, man. Our folks had to get scraps of what the white supremacists gave them and created dishes that would feed the whole plantation of Black people. You understand? We were coming up with these dishes, these gumbos and stews and other dishes to feed the community, which we still have that spirit of feeding a community now. That's part of our foundational Black American culture. Feeding everybody. That's our culture. Nobody really does that like us. You're feeding the whole community just on GP. That's our culture. Yeah. Making sure the community is fed. So yeah, when I see that type of resilience and that kind of honorable disposition that we had, man, I don't let nobody disrespect that. I don't let nobody disrespect that. And even just in the civil rights movement, our families out there standing on business, fighting against these dogs and water hoses. And man, come on. Yeah, I got too much respect for those people to let anybody, the white supremacists or tethers, because that's another thing I don't like when folks come over here after my folks sat up here in Alabama and Atlanta, standing on business, fighting for immigration rights and equal rights all across the board. And you better not bring your ass over here talking about, well, damn it, them niggas are lazy. They don't want to work like me. The hell you will say some stupid shit like that. No, everybody's going to get it now. There's going to be respect all across the board. Now, our ancestry is not going to be disrespected. We're not going to be disrespected. The white supremacists, you get that work too. Everybody can get it. Let's get, what's your name? Cormarzin? What's your name, man? Cormarzane. Cormarzane. I think that's your name. Hop in, brother. Cormarzane. Just unmute that mic. All right, while we're waiting on Quamar, whatever your name is, let's get nothing but a G thing. Nothing but a G thing. Where you at? All right. Well, there we go.
What's the word,
What's
place?
up, man? How are you, G Thing?
I'm good, man. You are 100% right when you talk about the dominant society wants us to focus on Africa. My daughter goes to one of these progressive schools, and I notice every time she got like social studies thing, it's always about Africa.
Yeah.
I just helped her with like a homework project about the lost boys of the Sudan. I'm like, why is it always about Africa?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm gonna land my plane there though.
There you go. Let me get Nikki in here. Nikki the guy, what's up, beloved?
Peace and blessings, Flex, and the family. I came up here. I've been thinking heavy on this subject of power all week long, and I don't always post what I'm thinking. But since everybody's coming out and speaking on it, I'm just going to say I think some people get caught up and confused with the concept of real power versus perceived power. Real power refers to the actual ability to influence or affect a situation based on concrete factors like resources, authority, capabilities, while perceived power is how someone is perceived to have power by others. This may not always align with their actual power, but it's often influenced by factors like people's reputation, like their online reputation or their appearance. Essentially, it's the impression of power rather than tangible power itself. Perceived power can be used to maintain systems of oppression, such as white supremacy. So, I think just like you were talking about some of these jobs that people have, they feel like, oh, I'm the supervisor here. I'm controlling all the black people here. They are perceived to have power. A lot of people sit online. I'm not calling anyone out or anything, but a lot of people sit on Twitter Spaces all day going back and forth, and they think that they have some type of position or power, and it's not real power. um, Power is standing up to white supremacy and not waiting for someone to hopefully deliver you justice.
Mm-hmm.
We still have people like George Zimmerman walking around. I'm sorry, but I had to say that.
Yeah.
Real power is having the self esteem to not be afraid of repercussions from the dominant society in our land.
There you go. Um, a lot of people, and going back to what the brother said earlier, um, just the whole focus on African history. Yeah, the dominant society, they always got us focusing on Africa. And there's a reason for that. Because yeah, they don't when we start talking about Black American history, they get a little nervous because see, our history here has always been about resistance. Everything is rooted in resistance over here, resisting them. See, they can talk about Africa. They could talk about somebody walking a wild donkey in the Sudan. That's not a threat to them. You understand? Little stuff like that, or somebody building a pyramid. That's not really a threat to them. They can talk about somebody making a sewing a kente cloth over in Nigeria, and that's not a threat to them. They can talk to somebody eating an ostrich egg, making some egusi soup. That's not a threat. For them to talk about stuff going over in in Africa. That's not a threat. That don't put them on the hot seat, because they can, if you want to talk about the oppressors, you talk about Britain or whatever, but when you talk about history here, Black American history, so you're talking about the stuff that they've done to us. It always goes back to them. They're the main villain in the story. You see? You're talking about all the stuff that we had to do and create because of their oppressiveness. Yeah, because a lot of stuff that we created was done out of oppression. Yeah, even when I talked about this before, we knew, things like the cotton gin that we really created and gave the idea to Eli Whitney. Um, Even some of the medical advancements that we were creating, just like we created the cure for the snake bite over here. That was foundational Black American who was enslaved. He was a slave. And he showed the white supremacists how to cure snake bites. But he said, I'll teach you. Y'all got to give a player that freedom, though. You see, you got to give me that freedom. and he had to negotiate his freedom in exchange for the snake bite remedy. Another brother named Onesimus, he was one of the first people who was enslaved to teach these people how to do basically vaccines, how to vaccinate themselves from certain diseases. He was enslaved, so you got to tell the whole story. You don't want to talk about that. You don't want to talk about the foods that were being created, like modern mac and cheese that was created by one of Thomas Jefferson's slaves. He went over to France and saw some of that nasty shit they were doing with cheese and pasta. He said, no, I need to cook that and put some seasoning on it and flip it and remix it. And he made baked mac and cheese over here. You see? But you got to tell the whole story. Why was he creating this? Well, he was enslaved. See? By who? By the white supremacists. You know? So they don't like us talking about the history there because then they're the main villain. They don't like that. So they focus on Africa. Listen, there's some there's the Yoruba tribe, and there's the Ethiopians, and there were some great things over there that you need to focus on, buddy, for part of your culture. No, 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 I'm focusing here. There was some stuff over here that we need to talk about. We need to talk about what's going on here. Because this is my land here. And since this is my land, we need to talk about some of that land grant money that we need to get. See, that's where they don't want us to go with it. We start claiming land. They want us to stay in Africa because they don't want us over here claiming the land now. We start pointing out, hey man, some of these Native Americans had afros and big lips, especially the ones on the East Coast. See, when they talk about Native Americans, they like to talk about the Plains Indians. They stick to the ones out here on the West. Those had more of the Asian Mongolian phenotype. They don't talk about what was happening on that damn East Coast. They don't like talking about that. On the East Coast, you had the Aboriginal people with the afros and the big lips and the big noses. Yeah. The Yamasees and all of these other people. They don't like to talk about that. Yeah. All right. Yeah, there's a reason why out there in Virginia that Walter Plecker was sitting up here changing Native Americans' birth records to Negro. All right. There's a reason why he was doing that. All right. Let's get some people in here. Let's get Mr. Links in the building. Links, and then we'll get Arian G in the building. We're going to get Links, then Arian G.
I tried to talk to you a couple nights ago when you were like asking me about my genealogy, trying to put me in the African thing, and I was like, bro, you were like, you don't know where your mama's from. I was like, bro, I was trying to explain to you, like, my daddy's daddy from the Bahamas, my mama goes back to slavery, bro. And you were like trying to put me out there, like, I was out there.
I forgot the conversation. I don't remember. I don't remember the conversation. Now, how did we get into your background? How did we get into it?
I think it started off with my voice. I don't even know. It was just weird, bro. It's like, and then you're like, you strange. You don't know who your mama's from. I was like, bro, I was trying to explain it to you, bro.
I totally forgot. I forgot. But yeah, okay. So your mom is from the Bahamas, or your dad is from the Bahamas?
My daddy's daddy from the Bahamas, okay. And my mom was like folk on slavery, bro.
Okay. Okay. Again, I don't remember what the conversation was about. What triggered everything? So what's going on? What's on your mind?
I don't know what the subject is. I don't know. Well, shoot, I don't. How you feel about?
Hey, brother. Okay, this ain't a guessing game. This ain't a sex chat. Okay. This ain't bussy chat where niggas just call up shooting the shit with each other. You got to call up. Okay, that's probably why I was questioning your ass.
Tariq, you are hilarious, man.
Yeah, but niggas don't be wanting to say shit. They won't, man.
Yeah, a lot of these guys don't have their thoughts together when they get up there. But
yeah,
you know what? I just want to say that you are absolutely right, Tariq. A lot of white people have brainwashed themselves into believing that only black people commit crimes. And a lot of them seek out these law enforcement positions for the sole purpose of becoming racial vigilantes. And you know what? You are so brilliant because you coined the phrase race soldiers. And if you are a race soldier, a lot of these they don't understand. Race soldiers, they believe there are no good black people.
Mm-hmm.
So it serves you no purpose of praising them with a person who has that sort of belief.
Yeah.
So a lot of them become victims of that because they don't understand that. So I'll land with that, Tariq.
Thank you so much. And FYI, the term race soldier came from my brother Neely Fuller. Yeah, that's a term that came from the great genius Neely Fuller. He came up with that term. He said, do not call them police. What they do, if they're harming black people, these are race soldiers. They are not police. By definition, the minute you harm a black person, you are no longer police. If you harm a black person unjustly, he said, by definition, which is true, yeah, we got to call it for what it is. You stop being a police. Police don't harm people based on race. Race soldiers do. Yeah, so the minute you harm a person based on race, you are no longer a police. You are a race soldier pretending to be a police. Words matter. You see? Words matter. All right, let me get one more call in here. Shout out to everybody in here. Let's get one more good one because we are in here heavy, as we are every night. We are in here heavy. Let's get y'all raise your hand if you're ready. Let's try it that way. Let's raise your hand if you are ready, ladies and gentlemen. Raise your hand if you're ready. All right, let's get Charlotte. Let's get Charlotte. Charlotte, hop on, ma'am. Miss Charlotte, unmute your microphone, Charlotte.
Hey, good
How you
morning.
doing, Charlotte?
I'm doing fine. So listen, I'm from New Orleans. I'm from New Orleans,
Yes,
Louisiana.
ma'am. I hear it.
And my people have been here since the 1700s, and I'm a descendant of what they call down here free people of color.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning my people were never enslaved in America, but they were oppressed
Oh
here.
yeah.
So what white people suffer, in my opinion, from a type of denial, and you have to be in that denial to live with the consequences of the monstrous acts that your ancestors committed.
Mhm.
Nobody wants to be the bad
Yeah.
guy. And what people will say, well, I didn't own slaves. You might not have owned slaves, but you are direct beneficiary of an unjust system that was put in place here.
Mm-hmm.
Because New Orleans, America is about economic power. So some in our type of system, somebody has to be on the bottom, and they have just chosen black people to be the one on the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just as simple as money, because before you were talking about all the things that black people invented, and you were saying that they invented these things out of oppression. They didn't really, in my opinion, they really didn't invent these things out of oppression. They invented these things out of necessity
Right.
to make their
Because
lives
they were
easy.
oppressed, though. That's the thing. It was a necessity because they were being oppressed. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you could, yeah. They had to do it because if you picking cotton all day, the first, if you look at everything that we use and everything that's been invented here, and a lot of people, and and then so it's kind of like, so black people have been chosen to be on the bottom, but poor whites in America are accomplices because, okay, if somebody is in power, you want to be associated with that power so you can get some benefit of that power. It's like the sun shining down on you, you know. So poor whites in America have been happy just to have that little bit of sun shining down on them. I might not be rich, I might not be in power, but at least I'm white.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know. So they have become like sort of unwilling accomplices, because if you look at the way they vote, they historically vote against their own interests. Why do they do that? They do that because they hoping that somebody gonna throw them a bone.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Thank you.
And
Thank you so much, Miss Charlotte. Let's get what's your name, brother? I don't pronounce your name. Flirt? It starts with an F. I can't really.
Uh, It's Fakir, man.
Okay, Fakir, how are you?
How are you, man?
I'm good.
I've been listening for a while. This is my second time joining this space.
Okay.
I'm from Ethiopia, and I just want to tell y'all that I appreciate what you guys are doing. Even from Africa, I'm one of the people that really appreciate it. I just want to add something to the conversation. I want to tell everybody in the space what African Americans have done for Africa. Just a couple of things that really inspired me the past few months when I was reading. Um, a lot of people know that Ethiopia is an independent country. We fought and won colonial battles, the famous Battle of Adwa. But the one story that hasn't been told as much is the story of Colonel Robinson. He was an African American pilot. He was a member of the Tuskegee Airmen that came and fought for
Uh,
Ethiopia, lived in Ethiopia, and died in Ethiopia.
right.
That is one of the greatest. There's a book called The Lion and the Condor that was written about him.
We
I just want to say that we appreciate you and we love you.
so much. I appreciate it. And by the way, we mentioned Brother John Robinson all the time. If you've listened to these spaces, you've heard me mention him several times. Phenomenal foundational Black American. He went over there, was a part of the Ethiopian army, showed them how to fly with certain techniques. In fact, we always talk about how thousands of foundational Black Americans were actually trying to volunteer to go over there, but the federal government would not let us go over there. And they're like, oops, don't y'all get involved because y'all might click up and start overpowering our asses. But he went over there anyway. He went on over there. And then another thing about John C. Robinson, about how this brother even learned how to fly planes, because he wanted to go to an aviation school in Illinois, but they were on some racist shit. They were like, oh, no, no Negroes. We don't want you Negroes in the air. They denied him repeatedly. They just wouldn't let him go. He said, okay, I'm going to do another technique to get up in there. He got a job as a janitor. He's like, yeah, I don't want to go to school, but I'll come clean up. Let me work as a janitor. So he got a job as a janitor, sat outside the classes, ear hustling. He was ear hustling on the classes, learned how to fly, and became a damn expert. So they had to eventually let him in. Then he became an instructor. He became so damn good. So this brother ear hustled the game in order to learn how to fly. I'm telling you, our people are phenomenal, man. Then he started building his own planes off him ear hustling. You understand? They wouldn't let him in the school. So he got a job as a janitor and ear hustled his way to the top, ladies and gentlemen. When I hear shit like that about our folks, man, that makes me get off my ass and start grinding. You dig? Shit like that is inspirational to me. We ain't got no excuses. We got to get off our ass and get it. You dig? In honor of them. You dig? In honor of those FBA ancestors who put in that work. We got to get it. We can't be out here bullshitting. All right. Let me get up out of here, man. Look, everybody, go to hiddenhistorymuseum.com. Everybody give a contribution to the Hidden History Museum. This is how we keep everything popping from the community. Hiddenhistorymuseum.com. Get your Majara shirts. People love the Majara sweaters. That's your foundational Black American spiritual essence, the spirit of Majara. You can feel the energy when you rock those Majara shirts, ladies and gentlemen, at majara.org. Majara.org. Also, the movie Microphone Check. Get that movie. at microphonecheck.com. Phenomenal film. All right, guys, I'm up out of here. It's been real. I think we had a very constructive conversation. So anyway, y'all be good. Papi Akute, Lola Vuve to the family. Peace.